Greetings, this is Bethany Pierce. I'm here to talk to you about having a yeast infection while you're pregnant, which is not a happy situation. We're going to talk about the causes, the symptoms, and the cures. So let's get right into it. Basically, you need to know what yeast is and why it is bad for you. Another name for yeast is candida, so when you hear that, know that they mean the same. But basically, yeast or candida is a natural fungus in your body. It is there naturally and it can be good for you, but the problem is when it multiplies out of control. It can multiply out of control because yeast feeds on sugar and fatty foods, and that is when it grows. When it grows out of control, that is when you notice the symptoms of yeast infections. So the question is, what are the symptoms of yeast overgrowth in your body which would lead to a yeast infection? More specifically, we're going to talk about the symptoms of vaginal yeast overgrowth during pregnancy. And then I'm going to move on to the other symptoms. So first of all, you are going to notice extreme itchiness in the vaginal area. You're also going to notice extreme irritation and soreness around your vaginal area. Often there is burning and redness, which also occurs in the labia area as well as the vaginal area. And then there's also very commonly vaginal discharge, which is one of the first symptoms that you'll notice of a vaginal yeast infection while pregnant. The discharge often is smelly or cottage cheese-like in appearance. The main symptoms of a yeast infection that are not vaginal that you will have while pregnant can include a variety of things, and this is one of the least correctly diagnosed problems out there because these symptoms from yeast are so common in other things. So you'll notice as I read these symptoms, they're very common for all sorts of people with all sorts of problems, which is why it is difficult to diagnose if you really are dealing with yeast in the body. So some of these symptoms that do not have to do with a vaginal yeast infection, but rather a normal yeast infection, would include depression or mood swings, chronic rashes, which could occur all over your body, fatigue or tiredness, irritability, digestive pain, headaches or migraines, acne, gas, learning or memory problems, and actually there are quite a few other symptoms as well. So like I said, yeast infections are one of the least correctly diagnosed problems in the body. That is why it's very important to be aware of what it is and why it is bad for you. Basically what you need to know is that in order to get rid of yeast, you have to reprogram your body. You need to focus on your daily diet and routines because this is where your yeast can get out of control. Remember that yeast can be a good fungus in your body as long as it has not gone out of control. It multiplies by itself when it feeds on sugary or fatty foods. So your diet is a big part, but that's not everything. You do have to know what you can do, and you can do small and simple changes to get rid of yeast. So just imagine what that would be like to have that secret. Knowledge is power, so empower yourself. One of the best ways you can get rid of yeast in your body forever so it does not reoccur is by going to candidayeasttreatment.net. I'm going to spell that for those of you who are listening. candidayeasttreatment.net. That's candidayeasttreatment.net. You will get the answer to your problem if you go there, and best of luck for you in your situation.